Are you looking to flatten your stomach? And in the best of cases, are you looking to develop a nice six-pack? Well, I've got your solution for you. It's called the kettlebell. Kettlebells have been around for hundreds of years, and if you haven't used them yet, it's time to get started, especially if you want to get a defined midsection. In this video, I'm going to go over some key ways that you can utilize kettlebells in your daily and weekly practice to not only burn fat in your stomach, but also tone your abs and tone your rest of the body by default. But before I get down to the swings and snatches, make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. If you look around the gym and see anyone using kettlebells, that is, anyone who knows how to use them correctly, you're probably going to notice that they're in very good shape. They're likely ripped actually, and that's no accident. Kettlebells have a very high transfer effect when it comes to body transformations, more so than any other fitness tool that I've ever come across, and that's why I fell in love with them years ago. When used correctly and on a regular basis, they can burn a ton of fat, they can build muscle, they can improve flexibility, balance, brain function, and even posture. Plus, when you have them at home, they're easy to store, they're easy to use, and they don't take up a lot of space either. That's what makes kettlebells so advantageous for your body. When it comes specifically to flattening the stomach and burning fats, there are some very key rules you should follow. And that's what I'm going to get into right now and unpack for you. First things first, you have to learn how to do what I call beefcake exercises. You might also know them as strength training exercises. Anything you can do conventionally with barbells or dumbbells, you can do with kettlebells as well. For example, you can do presses, you can do squats, you can do back rows, you can do chest presses from a lying position on your back. You get the idea. By doing strength training exercises with kettlebells, this will transfer nicely into your abs because you always have to keep your abs tight when you're doing these exercises with kettlebells because of the unique design of it. It's basically a ball with a curved handle on the top. Let me show you. See? Ball, handle. So right now I'm just holding this kettlebell and I have to keep my abs tight to hold the kettlebell in place. If I were holding a dumbbell, I wouldn't have to do so much of an ab recruitment because my hand would be doing more of the work because I have to grip it harder. Here, I can do this. See, I can wiggle my fingers and I can hold this kettlebell. Now, if I am in this position and I do a press from this position, I'm going to back up a little to make sure I'm in frame. I really have to squeeze my abs even harder. So this has a nice transfer effect to the abs because remember, it's all about tension. Building abs is about burning the fat in front of them and then getting tension into your abs. And that can be done through strength training, especially when you do exercises like this. And then if you're doing, say, squats, when you're coming down like this, you need to keep your abs nice and tight in order for this kettlebell to remain in the rack position, which is this right here. If not, you would fall sideways like this. So you have to compensate by keeping your abs tight. So one of the ways that these transfer to a flat stomach is by doing strength training exercises with them. And you can do one kettlebell or you can do two kettlebells, which I have right here. So hang tight. Now I've got two. We lose that unbalanced effect because we now have two kettlebells equally distributed, but we have more weight to press now. When we press these up, we bring them down nice and slow. We have to really squeeze our abs to control the weights on the way up and the way down. And then if we're doing squats, we come down and we come up and we have to keep our abs nice and tight to keep both of these kettlebells secured in the rack position by our sides like this. So the first thing you need to learn how to do is strength training exercises with kettlebells. The next thing I want to address is ballistics. A ballistic exercise with kettlebells is done in a fast, intense manner. A swing, for example, is a ballistic. A high pull is a ballistic. A clean is a ballistic. A snatch is definitely a ballistic. These type of exercises absolutely burn fat like you won't believe. And they're absolutely quintessential when it comes to toning your stomach, especially if you want to get a six-pack. And you've got a couple things happening here. You're burning a ton of calories. You're recruiting a high amount of muscle fiber. But more importantly, you're getting a good ab contraction too. Because every time you do a ballistic exercise, every rep you do, you have to squeeze your abs forcefully. That's part of the correct technique. Now let's put this into practice. Let's talk about a swing and let's talk about a snatch. Two quintessential exercises that you have to learn in order to get a flat stomach with kettlebells. I'm going to back up a little bit. Let's talk about the swing first. And if you haven't seen my video yet on the 100 Swing Challenge, make sure to check that out. I just posted it a little while ago. I talk about the proper form doing swings, but I'm going to go over it quickly right now for you. The way it works is you grab your kettlebell, you rip it behind you, and then you forcefully hinge your hips forward like this. And when you come up, you want to squeeze your abs right here. And you also want to contract your glutes, your lats, and your quads all at the same time. So it looks like this. You grab it, you rip it, just like that. And then when you're done, you safely park it. What ends up happening is when you do a set of 10 or 15 or even 20 swings, you're getting a high amount of ab contraction, plus you're contracting all those other areas I mentioned, and you're burning a ton of calories because your heart rate goes through the roof. And then you can take a quick rest and then do another set and another set and another set, and you can do as many as you want. And in literally 20 to 30 minutes, you're gonna get a massive workout. But not only are you getting a cardio workout, but you're getting all these ab contractions. So you're getting a hybrid workout too, which is absolutely phenomenal for burning fat and building lean muscle mass. And another thing I wanted to mention that I didn't mention earlier is when you're doing these strength training exercises and you're building muscle throughout your whole body, this also has a transfer effect indirectly on your abs because it raises your metabolism and it causes your body to burn fat more efficiently, especially over a 24-hour span of time. All of that contributes to burning fat uniformly through your body and exposing your abs and showing off the six-pack that you're looking for. Now, another ballistic exercise that I absolutely love, and it's probably one of my favorites, is the kettlebell snatch. Now, in this exercise, we rip the kettlebell behind us and then we rip it straight above our head like this. And every time we come up here, we have to really squeeze our abs to finish off the exercise and to put our body into a good postural alignment like this. Then we rip it down, we rip it back up, and we continue doing that. And I'm telling you right now, if you do 10 reps on this side, switch, and do 10 on this side, you're gonna be gassed already, and you're gonna be huffing and puffing. And that's a pretty good rep range to work in. 10 on each arm, and then park it, take a rest, and grab your kettlebell, and then go again. And then you can do again a series of 8 to 10 sets. This is what the snatch looks like. We grab a hold of it, get in the height pass position, we're gonna rip it, and then we're gonna snatch above our head. Right there, abs tight. Relaxed, contracted. Relaxed, contracted. Just like that. Then when you're done, you safely bring it down. So that is your second component to building a flat stomach with kettlebells, ballistics. The next very important part of the equation to building a flat stomach with kettlebells is one specific exercise, and it is the gold standard, and it is the granddaddy of them all as far as I'm concerned with kettlebells, and it is called Turkish get-ups. In fact, Turkish get-ups and snatches are probably my two favorite exercises, and if you did nothing else in the whole wide world, learn how to do both of those correctly and efficiently. And if you just did those, you could probably build a six-pack on them alone. Maybe not a six-pack, but you can definitely flatten your stomach and tone it. The reason I like the Turkish get-up so much when it comes to flattening the stomach is because it has a high amount of ab tension throughout the whole entire drill. In fact, your abs are contracted from the time you start until the time you end. And it takes about 30 seconds per side to do just one rep when you do them correctly in the slow and good form. And you can simply go from the right side to the left side, left side, back and forth for 5 reps in a row, 10 reps in a row, or even more. I once did 20 minutes in a row of Turkish get-ups, and I was absolutely smoked. And you get a good carryover effect with these. So you're getting a good amount of strength training, you're getting a good amount of ab recruitment, and you're getting a high amount of caloric expenditure all rolled into one. And that's about as good as it gets. I actually have a whole video dedicated on how to do the Turkish get-up correctly, but I am gonna do it again right now behind me, just so you can see it in real time. Here we go. So we're gonna start on our back like this with a kettlebell on the ground. And by the way, I'm outside, I'm on the grass, the sun is shining, it's beautiful. I highly encourage outdoor workouts any chance you get, especially with kettlebells. Always be barefoot so your feet can ground. And right now you're getting earthing and grounding. You're in the grass and you're in the sun. Very beneficial, ecotherapy. Okay, here we go. Kettlebell's right here, kind of lined up with your chest. You're gonna roll over, you're gonna pistol grip it. So you're gonna put one hand like this and the other hand over top. Then you're gonna tuck it into your body and you're gonna press it up. So your arm is in a full straight position. You're gonna extend the opposite leg out to the side, put this arm parallel to this leg, and you're gonna come up into a partial position right here, and then you're gonna take your other hand and push into the ground, come to a half seated position. Then we're gonna lift our hips. We're gonna weave this leg through, pointing our knee toward our hand. We're gonna turn our back foot as we do this. If you can see my abs are already contracted, they're very tight right now. And then you stand right up. You hold for a full second at the top. Really keep your abs tight the whole time. Try to keep your arm in line with your ear here. Then you're gonna step back with the opposite leg. Slowly come down, swivel this foot, bring this hand back down, kick this leg back through, push your butt toward your heel, bring this arm back down like this, slowly lower yourself down, grab your kettlebell with 2 hands safely, tuck it in, roll over, scrape it on the ground behind you to this side, prep it, bring it up, and then go on that side. That is the correct way to do a Turkish get-up. So just imagine doing 10 reps in a row of those, alternating back and forth on each arm. High amount of ab recruitment, high amount of muscle recruitment overall, and you're burning calories as well. All of that contributes to this right here. The next piece of the puzzle is an obvious one, and that would be performing specific ab exercises and using the kettlebell as a weight for them. Anytime you add resistance to an ab exercise, remember you're increasing the tension, and that's what we want to do. We want to have a lot of tension in the muscle, we want to move in a slow and controlled motion, and that is what builds it, and that's what gives it the definition that we're looking for. Of course, provided you burn the fat in front of it. For the sake of ease, I'm just going to demonstrate a few exercises behind me with 1 and 2 kettlebells that are basically ab exercises that you may be familiar with, conventional ones, let's just call them that. The first thing you can do is use the kettlebells, 2 kettlebells, as braces while you do what's called a mountain climber. And I'm sure you've heard of mountain climbers before. So you put your hands on the handles and you come into this position and you simply just do this. You bring your knees back and forth. Now from here, because you're on the kettlebells and your hands are on the ground, you have a little more clearance with your knees. So it gives you a little bit more room to play around here. So you can go straight in like this, or you can go to an angle like this and incorporate your obliques a little bit more. And you can kick your legs through like this. And you can even kick them forward like this. So you have a lot of room to play with kettlebells where you may not have that same ability from a hand position on the ground or a plank position. So that's exercise number 1 right there you can do, mountain climbers. Then you have a couple exercises from a crunch position where you can hold on the kettlebell like this by the ball with your thumbs through the handle, also known as the horns. One of which I like is a pullover crunch. So you lower your arms back like this and you pull the kettlebell up and you can either crunch just like this with your knees slightly bent to take pressure off your back, or you can do a double crunch where you extend your arms and legs out like this and come up. And if you keep your legs off the ground, it's gonna really enhance that tension on your abs. That's the higher leaded version right there. Then you can also do Russian twists where you can come up like this and simply rotate from side to side, or you can combine all that together where you do a sit-up crunch, whatever you want to call it, and then the next one you come up and do a Russian twist, and then you alternate back and forth. And then you have this drill called the floor wiper. This one was inspired by the movie 300, I believe it was, years ago. A lot of the people on the set of that movie and the actors did this exercise in their training protocol. I believe it was Gerard Butler made it pretty popular. So this one looks like this. Now we're gonna grab the two kettlebells. We're gonna press them up, we're gonna hold them right here. Now honestly, if you just hold this position, you can already feel tension in your abs to start out. But from here, you can do this. You bring your legs up at an angle, and then you go to the other side at an angle like this, while keeping your legs hovering above you, your arms hovering above you, in a slow and controlled motion. Then you've got a windshield wiper, where you can raise your legs up and you're like this, hold your kettlebells, use them as counterbalances, and you can lower your legs from side to side, like so. And you go as far as your range of motion will allow you to go, until eventually you can bring your legs all the way to the ground on each side. But you always want to go in a slow and controlled motion, no matter what you do. And then you can hold one kettlebell in a unilateral position. And if you hold one, it's going to cause a lot more ab recruitment and chest recruitment because you're off balance. And from here, you can just simply do leg raises like this. And then you can do them with 2 legs at a time, or you can do 1 leg at a time like this. And then down there, you can leave 1 foot on the ground, or you can just leave them hovering and go like this, which will increase the ab recruitment. So that is how you would use kettlebells in more of a conventional way as resistance with ab exercises. The next thing I want to address is off balance and offset exercises with a kettlebell. When you're doing an offset exercise, the weight is on one side of your body. I demonstrated that a little bit earlier, but I'm going to go back into the minutia with that. And when you're doing Turkish get-ups, for example, that's definitely an offset exercise because the weight is on one side of your body. Off balance, we'll be doing things on 1 foot. All of these exercises have a high transfer effect on ab recruitment and burning calories and burning fat and building definition in your stomach. So that is what I'm going to address next. For the sake of ease, I'm going to go back to that 1-arm press drill that I showed you earlier. But this time, I'm going to tweak it a little bit. We're going to bring the kettlebell up to a rack position, okay? Now, just this alone, like I said before, high amount of ab recruitment here. Another trick of the trade is when you're doing 1-arm presses, squeeze your other fist as hard as you can and squeeze this hand into the handle as hard as you can for force production. That's called the crush grip, and it helps allow you to do more weight with kettlebells as you go along. Now, an offset exercise would be standing on an off-balance offset exercise. Would be standing on 1 foot while you do your press. And you want to try to maintain tension throughout your whole upper body and really keep this leg as straight as you can and keep your toes really rooted into the ground when you do this drill. And if you have to tap your toe, that's totally fine. So you do a set of reps on 1 arm, then you switch sides and do a set of reps on the other arm. When you're off balance, like I was saying, that really causes you to, it probably magnifies your core recruitment and your ab recruitment by 3 or 4 times. So those kind of exercises are fantastic. And then another one that I like is called the windmill, which is this. We bring the kettlebell above our head like this, we turn our toes this way, and we keep this leg straight and our hand here. And then we lower ourselves down as far as we can go, and then we come all the way back up. Keep our abs nice and tight the whole way. But when you're coming down, you're gonna feel a nice stretch on the inside of your thigh, and then when you come up, you're really gonna feel your abs kicking in, especially on the opposite side of your body. So that right there is a killer drill to help build abs and burn fat as well. And also, like I said before, if you're doing a offset squat with the weight on one side of your body wants to do this when you have the kettlebell here. So you wanna make sure to keep your abs tight here. And then when you're doing your squat, you come down and come up like this. Big inhale down, exhale up, and you get a nice ab recruitment right there too, as well. Then you have another one of my favorite exercises, which is a side plank press. When we're in a side plank position and we're hoisting a kettlebell above our head, we really have to fire our abs to keep our body in good alignment. If you couple that with a knee pull in, or knee tuck as it's called, you're gonna increase the amount of ab work you're getting even more. This would be an example of that exercise. We bring the kettlebell like this, we come into a side plank position. Now, we're gonna lower our hips down, bring our hips up, and then we're gonna press the kettlebell. Hopefully I'm in frame and you can see me. You lower it down, lower, lower. By doing that little hip dip at the bottom, you're getting a little more ab recruitment here, especially in your obliques. And then you press up and you really squeeze your abs right there. Now you can make this even more challenging by doing the knee tuck. So you come up and then you tuck one knee in. Either the bottom one or the top one. Top one's a lot harder, but you see what I'm getting at. And there is a lot of ab recruitment going on with that exercise right there. So that's the next piece of the equation. Learn how to do offset and off balance kettlebell drills. I have one more key component to go over when it comes to flattening the stomach with kettlebells, and that is called complexes. If you didn't listen to anything I just said the past, I don't know how many minutes I've been rambling on, absolutely listen to this part. It's quintessentially important. Learn how to do complexes. Complexes involve pairing 2 or 3 or even more exercises together for a series of reps. This helps build strength, it helps build muscle, it helps burn calories, and it has a high contributory effect to ab recruitment as well. And they are absolute game changers in the big world of kettlebell training. A simple complex can be a swing, a clean, and a squat. It can be a swing, a high pull, a snatch, and then a squat. It can be a squat press. It can be a swing, clean, squat press, and the combinations are endless. I'm just gonna show you a quick one right now for demonstrative purposes. I'll show you a complex with 1 kettlebell, and then I'll show you a complex with 2 kettlebells. So let's do a swing, clean, goblet squat. It's gonna look like this. We're gonna grab our kettlebell, we're gonna swing it, clean it, turn our toes out slightly, we're gonna do a squat. Then turn your toes back to parallel again and repeat the whole series. Swing, clean, squat. That's with a single kettlebell. So you can do 5 to 10 reps of those total, and you're gonna get a massive amount of ab recruitment, muscle recruitment, and caloric expenditure. Now I'll show you a complex with 1 kettlebell. We'll do a swing, we'll do a snatch, we'll do a windmill, and then we'll do a squat. Here's what it looks like. Swing, snatch, windmill, nice and slow. There's your grind exercise. Then we're gonna tuck it in, and then we're gonna do a squat. And then repeat the whole thing. Swing, snatch, windmill, tuck it in, squat. And then you park it. And again, you can do 5 all the way up to 10 reps, or however much juice you have in your body, as long as you're using proper form and technique. And something else I want to mention that I just said that you're probably wondering about is the word grind. So kettlebell exercises that are done in a slow and controlled motion, like your presses, squats, lunges, back rows, those kind of things, they're all called grinds. And anything that's done in the fast motion, like the swings, the cleans, the snatches, they're all called ballistics, just so you know. Now, once again, for demonstrative purposes, I'm going to show you what a double kettlebell or dual kettlebell complex would look like. So in this one, I'm going to do a swing, clean, seesaw press. And here's how it goes. Grab your kettlebells, rip them, double swing, clean, and then we're going to do a seesaw press. And we do that off balance drill. Remember, we have an off balance drill going on there too. That's actually, it's offset because one arm is going up. That's going to enhance the ab contraction. I'll show you again from a front angle. Swing, clean, seesaw press. And then when you're done, widen your feet, back swing your kettlebells, park them, and you're good to go. And again, you can do anywhere from 5 to 10 reps of that exercise right there. But remember, when you're doing complexes, you are pairing multiple exercises together. So you can keep your rep range lower, because 1 rep is counted after you've completed all of the pieces of the complex. So even if you did sets of 3, you're still going to be getting a lot of work done. I just have one more thing I want to mention before I go, and that is your diet. I highly encourage you to work out in a fasted state, minimum of 12 hours every day, eat clean foods, and if you really want to burn fat fast, do an extended fast once a month or once every 3 months, 2 to 5 days. By working out in a fasted state, your body becomes fat adapted, and you're going to burn more fat over a longer period of time, 24 to 48 hours after your workouts. And then it'll have a high transfer effect when it comes to flattening your stomach and building definition when using kettlebells. And another thing is, remember about consistency. If you do a kettlebell workout today and you don't work out again until next weekend, what good is that going to do you? Not very much. Try to be consistent. I would suggest working out with kettlebells at least every other day, but you can't really get away with using them 6 days in a row. You can alternate between grinds one day and ballistics the next day, or you can come up with a functional circuit type workout where you do maybe 6 to 8 exercises and repeat them 4 rounds or 5 rounds in a row and do that every other day. Or you can focus on upper body one day, core the next day, lower body the next day, rinse and repeat. You can even take kettlebells and integrate them into your other beefcake workouts. If you're doing deadlifts, bench presses, and that sort of thing, you can do snatches in between the exercises, or you can do swings in between those exercises, or you can do farmer's carries where you just hold kettlebells and you walk a distance. There's a lot of different ways to incorporate kettlebells into your practice. But for the sake of flattening your stomach and building abs, follow all the steps I talked about in this video. Congratulations, you made it to the end. Drop a comment and let me know how your kettlebell workouts are going. Let me know if you have any additional questions. And make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Till next time, happy swinging, and this is Kevin David Rail reporting live.